Joining me on the Terror Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of February 2017, and this will be for the sign of Gemini. So let me go ahead and give these cards a shuffle to see what energies you'll be working with for the month. Okay, what you have in the center of reading is the Ten of Wands upright and the Queen of Wands upright. So with the Ten of Wands, you may be, if you're single, you probably is getting over a certain period, or you're trying to find a relationship that you feel it doesn't, that your companion wouldn't carry a lot of burdens with them, or you feel like in the past, your past relationships, that you carried a lot of burden when you got into a relationship with a person. It felt like that the person was throwing a lot of responsibilities into the relationship that became a problematic thing when you were in a relationship with that person, and you're getting to that point that you do not want to bring that type of relationships in your life, or you could be getting ready to reanalyze how you um, take action towards finding a relationship with people. And instead of just rushing in, you're going to sit back and be more cerebral because of your past experience with different relationships you had, that you felt that they were a burden, or the person you was in a relationship brought a lot of drama or burdens to the relationship and ruined them. The second card you have is the Queen of Wands upright. The Queen of Wands upright is usually a person, and if you're single, it's a person that you could be meeting. And being a Queen of Wands, is this person has a lot of drive about him or herself. They think with a lot of action, and they put a lot of action in a relationship. And maybe that's you having this mind frame, or this person that maybe wants to be in a relationship with you is bringing that drive to you. And if they bringing that drive to you, you're trying to double question it, because they bringing that drive that you may feel that it's a kind of a confliction of what you want in a relationship. And you can feel that that drive that they bring it to you for wanting to be in a relationship with you is going to bring a lot of burdens with it, because they have all this drive to it and this passion to it, that you feel like it's going to disrupt something else when it comes to building a solid relationship with a person one on one. If you already couple up with somebody, it's saying that as a couple you may be going through a burdensome period, that y'all both feel like it's a lot of outside influences that's weighing in on the relationship, that is causing all the outside external factors is causing a burden against the relationship, because you're taking on so much stuff, or people is bringing so much stuff to you, and it's affecting your relationship as a couple. And it's showing that maybe one of you in the month will have some kind of drive to try to clear those issues out of the relationship, so you could work on something else, or try to alleviate some of that. And they will take their actions to trying to relieve all this external stuff that's coming in and causing a problem or a burden, or the feeling of it's a burden dealing with, your family, or people that's not really directly tied into your relationship. So the bottom card, what you have underneath you, is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card of looking for counsel. If you're single, you're looking for somebody. I'm gonna say you looking for counsel or spirituality. It's just saying with the Hierophant, you probably tried a one way about getting a relationship. Now you kind of dialing it back into to the nuts and bolts of what a relationship is. You're going back to a traditional format of a relationship, or you're trying to restructure your relationships now forward when you find a companion more on a traditional level, something with some kind of structure or standard, and maybe you're going outside of yourself, or asking friends, or asking people that is more about relationships, or getting some kind of relationship advice, and they giving you this advice of trying to keep it more conditional instead of just trying to find a relationship in this kind of out wild kind of way, and you just is making a decision that you want something more traditional. And if you are in a couple, it's also saying that you're breaking your relationship back down to the nuts and bolts, your companionship of why you was together, what attracted to you. You're stripping it down. You may be going to counseling to try to help work out why some of these burdens are interfering, or why is there it kind of nitpicking at your relationship and kind of causing a disruption to your relationship. But it's saying that you're stripping it back down to the nuts and bolts of why you came together. You're reanalyzing stuff. You're trying to bring it back from, if it's a period that is a lot of chaos in your life, in your relationship as a couple, it's saying that you're stripping it back down into a nut and bolt format so you can have better control and have more attention for each other if you're in a relationship. What you had in the past is the Knight of Swords in the upright. The Knight of Swords is usually a person that's the first one to take action, and it's an action of an idea, and maybe you decided in the past that if you're single, that you took this action and it caused it a bunch of burdens of whoever you picked. So basically you deciding probably not to go ahead and act so much in your head and stuff when it comes to finding a relationship. You're not trying to um um think about it and then rush out and do it, because it comes with a negative consequence, or you figuring it's coming with a negative consequence. When you pick a person that's one-on-one, you rush out there, you have, oh, I see that person, I want him, I analyzed it enough, and you ran and got him. But when it comes later down the line, they became a burden in the relationship, or something comes up that becomes a burden that they bring to the plate, and you're deciding not to take that action again. If you are in a couple, it's saying almost the same thing, that you both were thinking about different ideas. You rushed them into the relationship, and it caused something to go off kilter when it came to your union as a couple. It showed that whatever ideas that you decided to rush in on and adopt them in your relationship, it caused a disruption of the union. By it took it off scale, or it made it unkelter, or you took on other outside burdens because you as a couple felt it was a good thing to do, and then when you took them it became a burden. Then it kind of disrupted your personal time together, and so that's an action that it seems like you was doing in the past, and you deciding to get rid of that action, or do that action for future pace in your relationship. What you have above of you is the Four of Swords upright. So if you're single, it's saying before you rush out to find a relationship, it's saying to kind of sit back and rest the idea. Don't be so quick to run and get it. Just go ahead and sit back and kind of ponder on it and marinate it. Even if you thought about it, it's saying sit back and rest on whatever pursuits of a person, or new ideas of how to bring a person in. It's saying allow yourself to have some time before moving forward on those thoughts you have of how to bring a person in your relationship sphere without causing any kind of burdens or disruptions once you bring this new person in. If you are already a couple, it's saying that you may be having new ideas that you want to interject into your relationship to build it on a better level, but it's you both will have to sit back and kind of analyze the idea and kind of rest on it. Don't just be in a rush to do the idea because you both thought of it up. It's just sit back, bring it out there, put it on the table, and sit back and rest on it, or kind of reanalyze it, and don't be such in a hurry to interject new things in your relationship because they could cause a burden, or you're acting too fast and it's going to throw the relationship off kilter. If you It's going to throw it more into a disarray if it's already having a lot of burdens thrown into it already. The last card you have in the future is the Tower in the upright. The Tower in the upright is saying that some change is going to come to your relationship. If you're single, it's saying that whoever you're going to bring in is going to bring a rep change to your status as being single. It's going to go from basically one extreme of being single, now you're in a relationship, and then you have to kind of piece together a new type of foundation to build on when you're in a relationship now again, or could be your first one, that you have to build yourself on a different structure now because you brought this one person in. But it usually, the Tower is usually, it happens real fast, so it's saying that the action of it could be happening fast, that you get all of a sudden in a relationship because you got the Ten of Wands and you got the Queen of Wands. So it's saying that some quick action could come in and hit your status, but it's also saying with the card above, you may want to rest on it and just don't be too rushing to go up in it. But whatever decision you make as a single, if you're single, that is going to change your status of how you usually operate. If you're usually a single person, you operate alone, then now you're in a couple, now you have to think about bringing that other person in. So it's going to bring a certain change that you're going to have to adapt to. What As a couple, what it's saying is that everything that's going around and all the burdens that you carried, it's just saying that it made a change to your relationship, and it made a rep change to it. So now, as you as a couple has to sit back, reanalyze, and see how can you operate as a couple with all this new stuff that's going around or being interjected into your relationship. Whatever was brought in, it changed the facet of your relationship to a different dynamic, either good or bad. But the change was whatever you brought in as a couple and decided to do. The change became abrupt, and now you have to rebuild your relationship on this new change that's been put into your relationship. So let me go ahead and get one astrology card to see what astrology sign this will play out with if you're joined up or you meeting them as you single. A Libra. So if you're meeting a Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this would definitely be something that's playing out with you, that they be going through these energies, or this Libra is having these energies thrown on you somehow. But a Libra is involved. So let me go ahead and see how they chakra is operating with these energies. The card fell out, and the card of growth fell out. So what it is that all these abrupt changes could cause you growth if you're single, or this person wants to get in a relationship to either help you grow as a person or help themselves grow as a person. But whatever you choose to do, if you're single, it's going to change you, especially with the Tower. It's going to definitely change you, that you're becoming, when it comes to your relationships, it's going to grow you to a different point that you're going to understand a different facet about yourself. And that's the same as couples. Whatever your companion is doing, no matter if it has a good or negative reaction, they're seeking growth. They're seeking growth in your relationship to take it from one stage to another without losing their original dynamics of why you were both together. They're seeking growth for themselves, and they seeking growth with you at the same time. So you have to keep that in mind, that no matter how this is playing out, this is going to make you grow as an individual person, to know that I don't like this, I do like this. It's restructuring yourself. And definitely with the tower in the future, is saying whoever you're going to meet is going to restructure you in a different way, that you can become more of an individual person, or more caring of a person, or more know how to weather a situation with somebody in your life. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb the video up or down, and I'll talk to you later.